Introduction. In this video, we will look at the sample assessment material for units A452 and A453. You will be provided with a copy of the assessment before you start it, and it is a very good idea to read through it carefully before you begin the tasks. You will be allocated time before you start the assessment to work in groups and discuss different approaches to tackling the tasks. Your teacher will also be able to help you to understand the requirements of the tasks at this early stage. However, once you start working on your response to the tasks, you must work on your own and you will not be given individual feedback by your teacher. Levels of control. The early stages of group planning are described as low control. This means you can use information from other people and can carry out some research away from the classroom. Once you have completed the planning stage, you need to begin drafting your own response. This is carried out under medium control. What this means is that you can use information sources such as the programming language's own built-in help. This is just what real programmers do because it is impossible to remember the entire syntax of the language. There are a few rules that you must follow. You must make sure that your controlled assessment tasks are your own work. If you use any information sources, you must acknowledge them. You only work on the tasks in class while supervised. This is so that the teacher can authenticate that the work produced is yours. Remember that controlled assessment is a formal assessment, and if you cheat, you will potentially receive no marks and could fail the course. You will also sign an authentication statement to say that the work that you submit is all your own and that you have provided information about sources that you have used. Unit A452. This is the practical investigation that consists of a topic for you to research and then complete activities in. In this sample controlled assessment, there are 6 tasks to complete. You need to complete all of them, and very often tasks build upon the previous ones. In this case, the investigation is about the little man computer CPU simulator. You will probably see terms that you may not have encountered before, for example, von Neumann architecture. In the research phase, it is important to find out what each technical term means and how this relates to the investigation. The practical tasks will get progressively more challenging and will always end with evaluations and a conclusion. There will be a mix of tasks that involve carrying out activities such as programming and tasks where you will need to write an explanation. At the end of the controlled assessment, you will need to write about what you have learned about the topic of the investigation. This is a sample controlled assessment for Unit A452. You are being asked to investigate a CPU simulator called the Little Man Computer. You will be carrying out the activities using a web-based applet. You will need to carry out research as the controlled assessment assumes that you have studied Unit A451, Computer Fundamentals and Programming. However, the intention is that this unit will develop your skills in a new and specific area. Each practical task builds on the previous one. It is really important that you plan how you will complete the tasks in the available time. Your teacher will give you advice about this. You are going to write some programs using the LMC assembly language. As you will not be saving any of the programs to your computer, you will need to take screenshots as you complete the tasks. Take as many as you can and then filter out the ones that you don't need when you are completing the written report. Make sure that you complete every task and, due to the nature of the tasks, complete them in order. Unit A453. This unit is the programming project and will allow you to demonstrate your skill as a programmer. There are 3 tasks and they become increasingly more complex. A range of programming skills will be needed, although you may not use all of the skills listed in the specification. It depends on the tasks. You will be able to write the programs in any language that you have learned. However, some languages will not allow you to demonstrate the full range of skills. For example, it isn't possible to show that you have used file handling techniques using the programming language Scratch. However, if the task requires you to create a graphic user interface, GUI, Scratch would be a good choice. You will also have learned a text-based programming language, and this is often the best way to demonstrate your programming skills. In the sample assessment material, Task 1 involves you creating a maze game. Since this does require a GUI, you could use Scratch or a similar programming environment to develop the program. Task 2 involves evaluating user passwords and does not require a GUI, so could be developed in a text-based language. When you have read through the task, list the success criteria. For example, in Task 2, the program must be able to identify a character as uppercase, lowercase, or as a number. You will need to plan out the logic of the program using either a flow diagram or pseudocode to ensure that you have built the right program. Task 3 involves file handling code, so must be completed in a language where you can adequately demonstrate this. Make sure that you plan each program including how you will test it. The best way to do this is by using a test plan. Don't forget to list the data that you will be using in each test. Remember, valid, invalid and boundary data must be used. Don't forget to include lots of screenshots and snippets of your code. Add explanations under each image explaining what it shows and why it is important. It is also important to show the results of testing too. Screenshots are ideal here too. As the tasks become increasingly complex, you may find that you didn't actually achieve all of the success criteria. In this case, you need to think about what you could do differently if you had more time. Make sure that you include this in your evaluation. Think about any other potential improvements to the programs too. Unit A453 should show your programming skills at their very best. You will probably be completing these tasks after you've covered section 2.1.7 of Unit A451, Computer Systems and Programming. The tasks are not dependent upon each other, but you must complete all 3. You could, for example, complete the more straightforward Task 1 in Year 1 of a 2-year GCSE course, and then complete the other 2 tasks later on. This is fine, and your teacher will guide you when you should complete the tasks. Good luck!